here we are now about a month after I said, yes, let's do it. And I am more committed and sure now than ever that what we really need is a clear vision. And what we really need is to organize the chaos that all of what has brought us here has brought up for us, that is at the surface right now, that we can clear away the surface stuff that's already been shifted and that's ready to be released, and then we can actually go down and dig deeper together. And so what I'm proposing is for you to come with me, an imperfectly perfect being who has been to the darkest caves and corners of my own consciousness, to emerge and to retrieve the virtuous aspect of myself, not because I'm always it, but because it always exists within us as a possibility for us to choose. And what I want to do is gift you with the tools that I have dedicated the last decade plus to acquiring, so that I could then share them with you in the moment of your need. So I very much look forward to you coming on this journey with me as I clear out the clutter in my own life, and I invite you to really get clear on the dream that you want to dream. For yourself and then for us all as a collective. Because what we must understand is that none of us are in this alone. No one of us are as an island, because all of us are better when we are together. And so once we have the understanding of the fact that we truly are puzzles in, or pieces, we truly are pieces in a puzzle. And when we can actually get back to who we truly are and remember whose we truly are and gain access to the teachings of the Ascended Masters, like what I've been sharing with the Michael and Laura show, where Michael Seegers breaks down the teachings of the Ascended Masters from over 40 years of study, that he has an understanding unlike many that I have ever met before. And so I'm sharing him with you through that show. And I'm also gathering peaceful inner warriors to come together to talk about what's happening, to talk about what matters, and most importantly, to talk about the dream that we want to bring into existence together. Because what I know for sure is that unless we are willing to get ourselves as organized as the dark side or the shadow side that have to hide in the shadows of our awareness, instead of their agenda being the one that we put our time, energy, effort, attention, and money into as the team players we have to invest, I would like to encourage us all to go on a grassroots movement back to the better days that can actually bring those into the present future moments that we are creating now. But I really need to encourage us all to remember what we have said we will do, and then also recognize whether we said that because it was what needed to be said and done, or whether it was something that we said out of obligation, which was irresponsible. Because what I know is that this series was necessary, but it was also a responsible commitment for me to make when I have also really needed to get myself organized. And I have been organizing a lot of summits as well. So we've got not only the Lawfully Organized summits, where Jackie Phoenix and others under the Practical Lawful Descent UK, Canada, and Commonwealth group on Facebook and outside of Facebook too, but we've got the Lawfully Organized movement with the Article 61 under the 1215 Magna Carta, where we are essentially being called as sovereign beings to stand under that sovereignty and to demand that we are calling to account the leaders that are acting treasonously and betraying our interests and their own for the sake of their own pockets. Their own team players is who they're looking out for, and now we say no. We are the populace, and we are the ones that have the power if we declare that we do, and we must. So I'm encouraging you to join me in a movement through the reclamation of our power. We're going to do that Sundays through the Sacred SelfCompassion service, where I each week will actually read part of The Artist's Way, and this week we're starting with the introduction, as well as spiritual laws and the basic tools. So it's 25 pages. We'll read tomorrow, January 31st at 10 a.m. I'll also be sharing a song and having a little dance party in the 10 minutes leading up to it, so you can start tuning into the service at 10, and then I will come on at 10:10 officially with the service, and look forward to sharing this, as well as working through my own stuff, bringing that in without making it about me, but saying what is happening for me, because we are mirrors to each other. So what I'm facing, you're facing. And so how I'm dealing with it, you may be able to use too. It's an option, but it is not the only option. I don't know the best way for you. I only know the best ways I've found to get through what I've been through. And so what I say to you is that you may be facing things that I never have. But as a coach, coaching is not actually about offering solutions. It is about asking the questions that call forth the answer that is within the individual they weren't aware of. I got trained professionally in 2011 with the John Maxwell certification program for teachers, coaches, and speakers. And then I also was in a relationship with the coach instructor for 4 years, was the coaching partnerships coordinator with the mentorship program in the John Maxwell team. So had hundreds of people that I was helping to partner up and to get into the coaching partnerships program. And it was a deep dive into what coaching is, what coaching isn't, and then how to do it. And I naturally am a coach because I'm an empath, and maybe you can relate to that too. But what I can tell you for sure is that after spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on not only trainings but trips in order to get myself there, and then courses online, workshops, and all of the above, books, I've got quite the library of things that excite and delight me still. But that's the thing about when you can actually experience your vocation instead of just a career or a job. A vocation is your calling. Your career is what you trade your vocation for. And then your job is where you go, and then when you leave, you expect not to think about it again until you are back in for the next shift. A vocation requires everything of you, and sometimes even more than you feel that you have to give. And yet dreams were made a few sizes too big so that we can grow into them. We have to stretch ourselves in order to actually reach the destination. And we also have to get really good at falling on our face or other areas of our body or energetic body even, and get back up without letting the bruise penetrate our faith. Right now we are being called to exercise our faith in a way we never have before, which is why I am also on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock reading through one of the 4 foundational texts within the teachings of the Ascended Masters, which is The Human Aura by Katumi. And so I would love for you to be able to join into the reading of that with me. And that is Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So grab a coffee or tea or hot chocolate or whatever you want to drink to nourish yourself, water, a great way to cleanse, and we can join together and work through the foundational text together, because it's difficult sometimes to make it through it on our own. But knowing that I'm in this with you and that others are too, it makes it easier. And ultimately, I feel like that's what I am here to help you and others through, because I have devoted the last 4 years of my life plus to the hero's journey and understanding the sacred element of it to make it the sacred sojourn of the soul that each of us are on, and that is going to demand us to really step into the who and whose we are and who we came here to be. So I look forward to seeing you on the calls, the summits, to the replays. I appreciate your likes, the subscribes on YouTube. I'm working to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can start doing lives on my mobile, because that is a requirement to do so, and then eventually also even potentially get sponsorships so that I can get rewarded for what I'm doing. And the reason I don't ask for money is because I believe that people, warriors like you who may be struggling, need this more than what I need the money for it. And yet there may be a day when I need it more than others need what I have to offer, and I hope that at that point I will be provided for. And when I was speaking with Michael Seegers after we recorded the last episode for the Michael and Laura show about Saint Germain, he had shared that the more you do for Saint Germain, the more he does for us. And Saint Germain gifted humanity with the violet flame. And so we have a simple tool to use 15 minutes a day to make massive, huge shifts for ourselves and the collective, if only we will be so obedient as to actually do it. So in the month of February, I am going to be guiding you all, as I do myself, through another series, but this one is going to be the daily decree and special practice. So essentially, I'm going to be leading a workshop next Friday, the 5th of February, where I'm going to guide my friend Chantel Matheson through the special practice, to hold myself accountable for getting the filming done, and to also having someone there to be able to ask questions. And I'm going to turn that into a course that can be purchased, or if you need it more than what you can afford it at this point, then I say, let me know and we can work something out, because energetic ripple effects really make a huge difference in this world. So if you can't give me money, then tell me how you're going to benefit your community, and I'll be glad to let you have it in exchange for a project you're willing to spearhead. Like I'm doing with the Mystic Music Summits I'm leading every other Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern in the afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in these Mystic Music Summits, we're talking about the sacred sojourn of the soul from the perspective of the artist and also the one listening to the songs that we together are going to create in a compilation album that is going to be 22 songs, where we are all going to be able to integrate higher level frequencies, tones, and tools into the music to give you a higher level experience that actually implants positivity into you. So you're already being subliminally programmed, and the shift from 432 hertz up to 440 hertz was a way for them to be able to make the music into a weapon. Because if you are off in your frequency, and then therefore because the music has set your system off, you then automatically enter into a stressed state, which turns your creative mind off, and you go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode, which means your creative potential is reduced. And the fact that this was introduced to music around the 40s is profoundly significant. And there is a video I was watching and shared to my Facebook earlier today about that very thing. So I'll include that in the blog post I attach this to, because what I hope is that you will watch the message, tune in tomorrow for the sacred service that we will host together here in my room at my papa's place, and ultimately we will move through this start to a new month together and say, too, it is the end of this one. So if you want to have a little fire ceremony in a safe space outside that allows you to let go what no longer serves and to even make space for and then replace that space with what you want. Goal setting and intention setting is a huge thing right now, and if you actually write those down, what you want, say 6 goals you want to achieve this month coming in February, and then you burn those at the end of tonight, you can really set yourself up for a true delight by knowing that when you have burned them, you are actually saying to the universe you trust their completion is already in place. It's just a matter of you meeting that reality in the same now moment, because all time is happening now like a multi-dimensional layer cake. So when we have that realization, then things really start to shift for us, because we realize that we can either give our power and pay our team to play for the enemy, which is fear, at 440 hertz, and all things contrary to our divine harmonic nature, or we can choose to participate in something greater. So if you want to potentially contribute to that album, we're going to have submissions coming in until April 2nd, and then we're going to be laying out more and more of the logistics and the details as we get closer to it, because it was an inspired project that myself and Jared Wade and the Mad Hatter's Music production company are ultimately putting together in order to unite. And so that's what it's all about. Warriors need to know how to recognize warriors, my friend. And if you're watching this, hello from a warrior to a warrior, because you are one. We are one. And that's what we need to get back to. So I hope you can come out tomorrow. If you can't, I would love to see you. Actually, I'm also on Tuesday having a Peaceful Inner Warriors United Inner Child Reintegration Therapy session from 7 till 8:30. We're going to go through a guided process together. We'll have some Q&A and give people an opportunity to say what's going on, where you're struggling, ask some spiritual questions. We can talk about the current situation. I feel like it's important for us to gather, and we need consistent, safe spaces to be able to do so. So for as long as I am able to, I'm going to continue to do that. And we've already done a number of them, so I'm super proud of everyone that has shown up so far, and ultimately appreciate everyone who is going to continue to show up, or who will show up for the first time at the next one. And so we will see you on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's also a mentorship component if you're interested in working with me at a deeper level and would like to have some privacy in the questions that you ask and have a closed knit group, then there's going to be a mentorship fee, and I need to get a handful of people together in order to really make it a mastermind experience where you become a resource pool for each other in a smaller, close-knit experience that really revolutionizes what you're able to achieve, because you've got a common direction to row towards. I want to create that experience, but right now I'm doing so many things for free that I don't have time to do things for paid unless you feel like donating, at which case you can always use PayPal, which would be very kind. But I only say that because it seems inappropriate not to give people an opportunity to give back to me. But at the same time, I'm not doing this because I expect money back, because for me, you being stronger at the end of hearing one of my messages, feeling more inspired to go after your dreams, to step out of your comfort zone, to say no to something that you know in your heart is wrong, but you're being asked to do or ordered to do because it's your job. If you're listening to my message can give you some piece of solace to be stronger in yourself, to actually do what you know is right, we can actually win this. And they always say the light has already won. And we may not feel like it in this moment, but the moment that we decide to strive in a common direction, because red pillars woke up red pillars, who woke up blue pillars, who woke up blue pillars, and together we all woke up to this mitote that Don Miguel Ruiz talks about in the Four Agreements, that I read as a book out loud because it's one of the books that really influenced me and is simple. It's Four Agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally, and always do your best. Those four agreements, if we can make those and understand that everything else is part of the grand illusion that Don Miguel Ruiz talked about as the mitote, when he was talking about Smokey Mir, who was this highly conscious and enlightened being that basically experienced his own enlightenment and then came back, and he could see himself and relate to everyone, but no one could see themselves or relate to him. And ultimately, he, in order to come back and have the remembrance of what he'd experienced when he was told he wouldn't be able or allowed to remember all of it, he said, "Call me Smokey Mir, so I always remember that this is but a fog of the truth." So as we lift the fog and we decide what pastures and paradise we are willing to set our sights on underneath of that which needs to be lifted, and then that which needs to be worked away, and that which then is left for us to play with, ultimately, we've got to start really dreaming to dream. We need to start really dreaming the new dream together. And so I'm encouraging you to come with me this week and the ones coming, because I anticipate a lot of amazing things are going to a lot of amazing things are going to come out of this. And I have no idea what those amazing things are going to be, but what I do know is that connections will be formed, and you will recognize someone else, another warrior that you needed to meet in order to remember who and whose you are, and for them to do the same, because each of us carry a question and a code for another person. And sometimes it's even in just being in the same space, or a nod or a small word is enough. But we need to know how to recognize one another. We need to be able to see each other on the screen. So I hope that you will choose to be seen and join me on one of these forthcoming opportunities. I will post the link tomorrow in the message I send to those subscribed to ljeh.ca. So definitely please on ljeh.ca leave your details so that I can send you a personal message, how to join me, how to be live, and how to go on a journey I wish had been available to me back when I got started, and am making available to you because it's taken me a long time to get where I am. And I value you, and I feel it's my calling, my vocation to do this in this life. So so here we go. Let's do this together. Let's enjoy this journey through life together, and let us play well together. Stay healthy, stay strong, and let us stay connected. Laura J. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you.